Hey everyone, so as the year is rolling in, it's finally the end of 2019. Honestly, this year went decent. I'd say that for me personally, 2019 was a step up from 2018, but only like the tiniest little baby step up. It wasn't really a full step. There was a lot of things that happened in 2019 that I will take with me, obviously, in 2020. There was like a death of a really close relative to us, and that, I swear to God, guys, is something that changes you pretty much forever. But in 2020, I have a list of 20 things that everybody should take with them to the new decade. Leave everything behind with the end of December. As soon as January 1st hits, remember this list, and let's all try to make 2020 like a way better year than 2019 ever was. So number one on my list of 20 things to take into 2020 is appreciate the good and the bad experiences that you've had, whether it be this year or in life in general. But you need to look at everything as a lesson, and focus on the importance of that lesson in everything that you've gone through. We don't just go through life experiences because the universe just wants to throw random bullshit at us. There's a reason why we go through what we go through. And personally, I believe, and you might be different here, I believe that we are only thrown at us what we can handle, and we would never be in a position of going through something that we ultimately wouldn't be able to get through. So in 2020, just make sure that you focus on the good and the bad, and don't let yourself get in this low state of mind with the bad. Just look at it as, yeah, this happened, it really sucks, maybe it put you through depression, maybe it caused you PTSD, but everything ultimately happens for a reason, and you need to find that reason and focus on that. Number two is stay humble. And that could mean volunteering, that could mean giving someone on the street like a blanket or mitts or food or anything like that. And the one thing that honestly bothers me about this one is you see all these people giving back to homeless people. You see like them dropping off pizza and things like that, but they always have a camera in the person's face. And that's not really being humble. And I know that there's two sides to this story. Some people will argue, well, they're shedding light on this situation and showing other people that they can do this, and they're teaching other people through video. But then there's the other side of it where it's like, well, if it was genuine and you actually wanted to help people, then you wouldn't make a YouTube video out of it and get paid $10,000 from that YouTube video of you just dropping off a $7 pizza to homeless people. So I understand it goes both ways, and you can be on either side of the spectrum, but regardless, we need to make sure that we're staying humble and we're not living outside of our means, and we're actually giving back to the people who are less fortunate or below us, that don't have a house, that don't have the pleasure of just walking in their kitchen and grabbing something to eat because they're hungry at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, there are people that don't have that, and we need to be grateful and we need to be humble for what we do have, and stop focusing on the new iPhone that comes out, this new car that you really want to get. I need new shoes because everybody has them, aka Balenciaga and all those other brands that I don't even know what they are. They're so tacky, so tacky. But you don't need them. You do not need them. Unless you literally don't have any sneakers, you have no reason to go buy them, besides the fact that you want to fit in with the trends. So bring yourself back down, stay humble, remember that there's people that could use that money to go towards rent or their next meal or something, dig themselves out of debt, their student debt. There's like struggling mothers out there that you could easily like go and help out at a shelter and help women that escaped abusive relationships. Like, there's so much that you can do to stay humble and stay grounded, and I think that's one thing that we all need to carry into the new decade, because way too many people are living with their heads in the clouds right now, and it's just terrifying. Number three, this one is hard for literally so many people, As soon as you get to adulthood, you realize how shitty people can be and how selfish people can be. And one thing that I think really needs to change with society, going forward in the direction that we are with cyberbullying and things like that, is we need to listen to understand, not to reply. And what that means, for anybody who doesn't understand that, that means there's like hearing, so I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm still thinking about what I'm going to say or what I'm going to eat for lunch, and then there's eye contact, listening, engaging with the person, and actually taking in what they're saying and learning something from it. Educate yourself and maybe ask them, I don't know much about that. Could you please educate me more on that? Listen to understand, not to reply. Number 4. This is something that I have dealt with immensely in 2019 and 2018, but it's really starting to get on my nerves with 2019 because I see it more and more and more with adults. And the funny thing is, I went through a situation, I'm not gonna go into detail, but I went through a situation, and one thing that I did say to the person was, when we are growing up as kids, we are taught you take accountability for hurting someone's feelings and doing something wrong. So number 4 is take accountability. Plain and simple. If you say something that you know hurts someone's feelings, or you do something that physically hurts somebody, or I don't even know any other examples right now, but if you do something that you know hurts somebody else, take accountability, say sorry, and I'm not just saying, oh, I'm sorry, no, like a genuine, from your heart, sorry. A whole apology. Because when we are kids, we are taught to do that. And for some reason, as we get older, it just slips our mind. And we don't remember to actually apologize for yelling at somebody, or for calling them names, or you accidentally punch someone in the face as you're dancing or something. Apologize. It's really not that hard. And so many people are stuck in their ways, and they don't want to be wrong, and they don't want to be vulnerable, and it's so damaging to everybody else, and it's not a healthy thing to deal with over and over and over again. Because the people, I remember reading once, the people that are over apologetic are probably Canadian, let's be real. But the people that are over apologetic tend to be the people that have been either emotionally or mentally or physically abused, because they feel the need to apologize and fix the situation. And a lot of people cannot do that, especially when you become an adult. People just will not. They will not say sorry. They don't know how. They can't even bring themselves to spit that word out at all. So just take accountability for your shit. You hurt someone's feelings. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I shouldn't have said that. I realized that it was wrong. Blah, blah, blah. It's that fucking simple. Come on, we're adults, okay? Number 5. Lying will always catch up with you. Always. And it doesn't matter how far or how fast you try to run from these lies, they will always catch up with you. The truth always comes up. It doesn't matter if it's right away or 3 years, the truth will always come up. So there's no point in trying to lie to people, because it's gonna come out. And what's worse? Telling somebody straight up, maybe it's not what they want to hear, like maybe you cheated on somebody. Say, you know what, baby, I'm so sorry. I did fuck up. No excuses, obviously. I did fuck up. I did cheat on you. I really, truly apologize. I just had to like tell you because I can't live with myself with lying and hiding it behind your back. Or, other scenario, you literally lie about it. Your girlfriend knows, because we always know shit like this. Your girlfriend knows. She ends up finding out. Then by this point, you've already slept with a bunch of people, and you're too far in to fucking backpedal and say your apologies, and you're fucked. You're fucked. And then your girlfriend rips your head off. You end up on Maury. It's great for people like me that like watching that trash television, but being in that situation, it's not ideal. Just don't lie about stupid shit. Don't lie at all. Like, literally just, there's no point. There's no point, because it's all gonna come out and you're just gonna look literally like a dumbass. Number 6. Number 6 kind of goes with number 3. So number 6 I have written down is put yourself in the other person's shoes. So it's really quick and easy for us to put judgment on other people. It's really quick for us to judge what we don't understand, i.e. vegans, farmers. I'm not going to go into that because I could make a whole separate video about veganism and all the random shit that I hear. But that is a prime example of put yourself in the other person's shoes. Somebody A, somebody B. Somebody A puts judgment on somebody B, that just causes conflict. But if person A sat there and said, you know what, there might be a reason why person B, farmers, are doing what they do, because it's not just about money. Again, dancing around the subject. If they actually tried to understand the person, then there might be some sort of conclusion and resolved business, you know? So just try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes before throwing judgment at them and assuming that you're superior and you're always right and yada yada yada. Just put yourself in somebody else's shoes, okay? Number 7 is nobody knows everything. I swear to God, nobody knows everything. Scientists don't know everything about math. Mathematicians probably don't know anything about history, or they do, but they don't know everything about history. You can't know everything, and it is okay to not know everything. It is okay to ask questions, because how is anybody supposed to learn if you never ask questions? And you can't be afraid to ask questions. Honestly, you can't. Because the only way that you're going to be able to fully educate yourself and understand, get it? Number 6, understand, is by asking questions. So there's no point in trying to stick your nose up and pretend like you know everything when you don't, and it's okay to not know everything, okay? Number 8. So there's a sigh before number 8, because, ready for it? You can teach somebody new skills, but you can't teach them good work ethic. And this is something that I have dealt with at many, many jobs before, where we've had shitty employees, lazy employees, people that just, they don't want to work, but they just want to like get paid. Is that the same as lazy? Calling in sick every week for whatever reason, being late, not showing up, like the list goes on. You can keep teaching people new skills, you can give them more responsibility, but if they don't have a solid, good, hardworking work ethic, it's useless. It's like you can teach a monkey how to swim, how to dance, and how to jump, but it doesn't mean it's gonna do that. So when you're looking to hire people, or you're considering like getting rid of somebody or whatever, just remember that. You can teach them a million skills, but you can't teach them good work ethic. Number 9. I have written down for number 9, live in the present, not the past, and not the future. And I know that seems so weird for everybody, because most people like to plan their future. They think about it in high school because we're pressured to think about it in high school for whatever reason. What you're going to do in college, what you're going to do for the rest of your life, if you get benefits, if you get a pension, you got to be married by this time, you have to have kids by this time, you need to have a house and a car and all this, like, whatever that society wants to put on us. We are told to think about the future. And I'm telling you right now, don't, because it will scare the shit out of you. I turned 27 in about a month, and I am not in a place that I thought I would be if you asked me 10 years ago. Because if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have been married, I would have probably had 2 or maybe 3 kids by now, I'd have a house, and I'd have a successful business. And I can tell you right now, I don't have any of those. The closest thing that I have to a house is my mom's house and my van. The closest thing I have to a kid is my dog and my rabbit. The closest thing I have to a career is a full-time job in agriculture, and I have a car, so I can't really say anything. So you really need to take in consideration that you need to live in the present. You need to worry about right now. What's your job right now? Can you pay your bills right now? Do you need a car right now? Do you need to buy a house right now? Don't think about 3 years from now, 5 years from now, I'm supposed to be here, I'm 27, I need to get my shit together, whatever. It'll happen when it happens. Just focus on today and tomorrow, even though tomorrow's technically living in the future. But today, focus on today, okay? Number 10. I wrote this down because it's always been something that I have resonated with as a kid growing up. I'm not sure, I still obviously believe it, or else I wouldn't have written it down. But number 10 is love will not hurt you. And I mean, there's so many different ways to kind of pick that apart. So that could be like abusive relationships, that could be parents, friendships, anything. Because if somebody genuinely loves you, they will not want to hurt you. And my voice just quivered there. I promise I'm okay. So if you have been neglected as a kid by your parents, whether it be like emotionally or like literally like neglected, your parent was never home and stuff, you're gonna take that into every single relationship that you have after that. And you're gonna seek comfort from anybody who's gonna show you love, which is very, very dangerous. But I promise you that love will not hurt you. And if you're in a toxic relationship right now, whether it be like a friendship, parent, or intimate relationship with somebody, I just want you to take a step back and remember that, because I don't know, a lot of people I think seem to forget that. And again, it's a lot harder to actually put that quote in place and take a step back. So I'm just gonna leave that at that. Let's carry on. I don't know how I'm gonna do number 11. Number 11, I guess. So number 11 is it's okay to cut toxic people out of your life. And this kind of goes with number 10. For me personally, there was a time, and I'm gonna be completely transparent here. There was a time when I wanted to cut one of my parents out of my life. So when I was considering doing this, again, I thought about love doesn't hurt you, and I thought about everything that happened in my past and who I am now as a person, and I don't want toxic people around me. Like, it's very, very draining to constantly be around negative people, and just like toxic, bad energy. For me personally, I notice pretty much right away if somebody has bad energy. I can pick it up really quick, and I tend to not keep those types of friendships in my life if I notice that somebody's gonna be bad to me or bad for me, or just sits there and complains and doesn't smile and just, I don't know, bad vibes, no bad vibes. And it's okay to cut people out, regardless if they're your parent or your family member or a best friend that you've known since you were like 4. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've known somebody or what the relationship is. If you feel that they are toxic and they're not gonna fulfill a solid spot in your life and they're not gonna bring anything positive to the table, then you need to just like leave that shit in 2019, because there is not enough time in the world to just focus on that bad shit. Like, we only have a certain amount of time on this earth. Like, we could literally just not wake up tomorrow. And personally, what I've asked a bunch of people in my life before is, if you died tomorrow, would you be okay with the life that you've lived up till this point? And me personally, I don't want to look back and realize that I wasted so many years on toxic, negative people that don't matter. So in 2020, cut the toxic bullshit out, cut the toxic people out, whether it's a family member or a friend or whatever. Time doesn't matter. The relationship doesn't matter. Blood is not thicker than water. If anything, molasses is thicker than blood. And molasses is sweet. So have sweet people in your life. Does that make sense? Number 12? 12. I don't know which way this is going to go. Whatever. Number 12. I have written down for number 12 is believe in yourself. And I know that's very, like, cliche. Go into 2020 believing in yourself. Like, you can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. But, like, literally you can. You literally can. When I moved to Hawaii, people were like, oh, like, that's crazy. I wish I could do that. Even people after were like, whoa, how'd you move to Hawaii for 3 months? Like, and my answer is literally just do it. Like, Nike, sponsor me. Just fucking do it. Just do it. There's no excuse for you to not do it. You have a house. That sucks. I don't. But you have a house. I'm sure you can get somebody to house sit for a couple weeks and you can go and travel. Like, that's no excuse. You have a pet. I'm sure one of your friends or relatives would take him for like a couple weeks, you know? There's no excuse at all. If you want something that badly, you'll do it. You'll find any way to just do it. And 2020 is the chance for you to step outside your comfort zone and actually focus on those little bucket list things. Because when you're in a nursing home at 80, you don't want to be sitting there being like, oh, I wish that I actually like did van life. I wish that I went skydiving. I never got to do that as a kid. Oh, we're traveling the world now at 85, but we can't do all the cool things because now we're old, you know? So if you want to do something, do it now. When you're young, do it now. Because when you get older, it's not going to be as fun, okay? I'm telling you right now. I'm not even old, and I can tell you that right now. The thing with me is that I don't sit back and just talk about it, you know? You can't just talk about it forever. You're never going to get it done. So just do it. Just fucking do it. Number 13. I was listening to a podcast called Ologies. Ologies. You're welcome. I was listening to their fear podcast that she had over the holidays. And the one thing that they talked about was the difference between fear and a phobia. And I'm not going to go in depth. If you really want to listen to it, look it up on the like Apple Podcast app or whatever you have. But they were talking about fear, and fear is pretty much made up. Fear is fictional. And when you feel fear towards anything, jumping off a cliff for the first time, going and talking to that person at the bar that you've been staring at for 10 minutes straight, and they know that you're staring, go talk to them. You have to push yourself out of that comfort zone. You have to step. Just one more step and do it. So fear is literally something that you make up in your head. And if you have that fear, that should be even more of a reason to do it. Number 14, trust your gut. And this is another one that's super cliche. We've all heard somebody in our lives tell us this one too many times. And I'm going to tell you again, just for the record, to trust your gut. I honestly can tell you that I have never had a time when I've trusted my gut and my gut has been wrong. So if you have those gut feelings, I swear to God, trust your gut for literally everything. They say, like, trust your, what is it, your heart over your head? No, I don't fucking know. Just trust your gut. Number 15 is trust the process. And basically, again, like repeating myself, everything happens for a reason. So going back to the other quotes that I said earlier, the other things that you should remember for 2020, everything happens for a reason, and you need to just kind of trust that even when you're in a really low slump, that things will get better, because there's really only one direction they can go. As shitty as I felt with everything that was going on, all the people that I were losing in my life, all the times that I've been fucked over, I just kind of took a deep breath, took a step back, and thought about, you know what, there's a reason this is all happening. There's literally a reason this is all happening, and I just have to sit there and let it all unfold how it's supposed to. Number 16, everything is fine in moderation. And I'm not talking about, oh, if I just murder one person a month, then that's better than like one a week, right? No, that's never okay. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna eat pizza because you feel like it, eat pizza because you feel like it. As long as it's not every single day or every single meal. If you have it like when you just kind of crave it, that's fine. It's fine in moderation. If you want to have a drink because you just got home and you had a stressful day and you want to have one drink, that's fine in moderation. You don't need to have 6 beers at the end of the day though. It's a little bit of a problem. Everything is fine in moderation, and as long as you remember that with literally everything, you should be golden for 2020. These like keto diet bullshit, they don't fucking work, okay? You need to allow yourself to have those cheat days, but you also need to try to stick to a kind of healthy diet. Number 17. So I'm probably like the least religious person out there. No, that's a lie. Mr. Atheist. Mr. Atheist is way above me. But I don't know why I chose to write this down the way it is, but I wrote down for number 17, love thy neighbor. And I feel like that's something that a lot of religious people seem to forget, and they just want to love thy neighbor that is the same skin color as them, religion as them, sexual preference as them. And that's not love thy neighbor. Hello, Christians. I hope you're listening right now. Love thy neighbor means you don't judge people for those things. You don't judge them based on the job they have, the skin color they have, the eye color, if you're fucking weird like that. You don't judge them for their background or ethnicity. You don't judge them if they have a different religion. So going into 2020, I hope that a lot of people kind of take a step back and just remember that we're all literally just trying to get by on this planet. We're just trying to live our own life. We're trying to live our life as best as we can. We're human. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we say things that we don't mean. Hopefully, you say sorry for them. But we just need to be more in unity, and we need to actually uplift people instead of separating each other by these stupid categories. Number 18. And I wrote this one down and realized that I wrote down the wrong thing. So I had a quick Google search, so thank you. So I wrote down for number 18, smiling at strangers actually releases dopamine and serotonin. And if you don't know what that means, it makes you feel happier. It releases those little happy chemicals in your brain that just kind of perks you up, you know? I was reading one of those self-help books, and they said to challenge yourself to smile to at least 5 strangers per day. So whether that be on your way into the grocery store and you're like holding the door, I guess you don't hold the door for people at the grocery, but okay, you're going to Tim's, you hold the door, you smile, you say, you're welcome, and that's one, okay? You go to work, oh, good morning, smile, there's 2. Pretty easy, right? I think you catch the drift. I don't need to like give you 5 examples. But if you smile at 5 people a day, 5, just 5, that'll make you a little bit happier because it'll release those happy chemicals, and there, cure for depression. I'm a millionaire. I swear to God, I'm a millionaire. No, all joking aside, honestly, I can tell you right now, when I am feeling really shitty and I don't even want to go outside, but I force myself to go outside, and somebody smiles at me, or somebody holds the door and smiles at me, or whatever, it does help. When you smile back, regardless how shitty a mood you're in, when you smile back, it really does help, honestly. So that's something that I think everybody should do, is smile at 5 strangers. Number 19, guys. 19 for 2019, except this is a video about 20, so we still have like one more after this. Number 19 is declutter your life, which will ultimately declutter your mind. And there's a reason why this minimalist lifestyle is like on an ultimate high right now. So Marie Kondo came out with this series where she goes into people's houses. They take everything, sort it in categories, so they have all the clothes in one pile, all the clothes from every single closet in one pile. They have the same with like electronic stuff, and the point is, when you see all your stuff, you kind of freak out because you're like, oh shit, there's way too much stuff. When you look at all of the stuff that you have, you realize how much stuff you have. And when you have a house and everything's kind of spread out, you don't really realize it as much. Like, I'm sitting right now between a couch and a chair. There's 2 pillows on this chair. There's 2 pillows on that couch. And there's a pillow holding up my ring light. Why do we have so many fucking pillows? But I can tell you that it is such a good feeling to finally take all the clothes out of your room and throw it in one pile and just look at it and get rid of like even a quarter of them. Even if you just get rid of a quarter of them. When you declutter your life and your house and things like that, then you declutter your mind. You don't have to stress out as much. So, we're finally to the end of this video. If you made it to the end of this video, high five, because most people probably didn't. And we're finally at number 20. So number 20, and this is probably the most important thing out of my entire like 2-page list. You need to, in 2020, find one good thing that happened in your day when you're depressed or feeling like everything's going wrong. Find one positive thing to focus on for the rest of the day. Even if it is the smallest little thing. You wake up, you're not feeling so great, you're kind of like grouchy, you're yelling at everybody, you just don't want to go to work, like life sucks, oh woe is me, like, you know, we all get that feeling. But if you focus on something small, like, you know what, Tim Hortons didn't fuck my coffee up today. Oh, that's amazing, Tim Hortons didn't fuck my coffee up. Well, you know, I have this great coffee for the rest of the day then. It's gonna keep me perked. You carry that energy for the rest of the day, I shit you not, it'll get better. Me personally, I'm pretty optimistic. So, regardless of all the shit that I've been through, and the bad days that I have and whatever, like, I'm pretty optimistic. I still look on the bright side. I find the one thing about it to focus on and be positive about, and that's what gets me through. So if you're constantly walking around all mad and life sucks and this happened and this person fucked me over and this girl doesn't fucking like me back and blah blah blah, whatever it is, if you put that energy out all the time, that's all you're gonna get back. And if you don't believe in karma, you should probably start. So that's my super long list of 20 things to carry with you into 2020. I know this was a hefty video. I'm probably gonna have to like crop it down. But if you made it to the very end, I truly appreciate every second that you watched of this. And yeah, I will probably edit this video tonight and put it up so you guys can all watch it before 2020 and maybe pick and choose like which ones you wanna follow. If you don't want to follow any, fine, fuck you. But so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you want. I'm gonna try to post more videos in the new year. Obviously, I have the van conversion, but that's gonna be on my separate channel. This is main channel content for any of you that don't know. But I hope you guys have a good rest of 2019. Don't drink and drive on New Year's, please do not. And I wish you all the best of luck in 2020, and I hope that the year is a lot easier for a lot of you. Have a good night, guys.